Hi guys! Today we're learning how to turn mathematical expressions that are expressed using math symbols, numbers, variables, and operation symbols, and turning them into words. Now for the most part this is pretty easy. You simply read from left to right, and so long as you know the words that are associated with each symbol, you simply write those in order from left to right. So for instance, this first symbol is the digit 3. We simply use the word 3 to represent that. Now the next mathematical symbol is sort of hidden, but you know that. In between the 3 and the P is a times sign. It's invisible, but it's there. So we simply use the word times to represent the space between the 3 and the P. Now the next one is an English letter, so we simply use the letter P again to represent it. The next symbol is a plus sign, which we use the word plus, and the last symbol is the digit 7, which we use the word 7. And so again, it's fairly straightforward. 3 times P plus 7. Why don't you try one? Here's an expression. Try to convert that into words. Pause the video and write it down. Here it is. If you said 4 minus 9 times m, you got it. Great job. There are a couple of special things you need to know. One is how to talk about parentheses. Now you've done it before, but let's see it converting from symbols to math words. There's nothing crazy here. It's just knowing what words to use for all of these symbols. Again, we translate left to right. 5 minus. Now, when we have an open parentheses on the left-hand side, we use the words the quantity to open the parentheses. And we continue reading from left to right. 6 plus n. N is here. Now, how do we close the parenthesis? We simply use a comma. That means close the parenthesis. It begins with the words the quantity and ends with the comma. And then we continue reading times 7. And there you have it. Long and complicated, but you're ready for it. Why don't you try one? Here's a set of symbols. Pause the video and try to translate this into words. And here's the answer. 4 times is invisible. The quantity starts the parenthesis. M minus 2, close the parenthesis with a comma, plus 1. And the last thing we need to consider is fractions. Specifically, fractions that have a plus sign or a minus sign somewhere, either in the numerator or the denominator. In this case, our fraction has a plus sign, or a sum, in the bottom. So this is a special case. When we're translating fractions, we read from top to bottom and left to right if we need to. And we've got to remember that the fraction bar is the same as the division symbol. So, reading from top to bottom, we start with the symbol 1, 1, which is the word 11. The fraction bar, as we move down, is a division symbol that's divided by. And the sum that's in the bottom has to be interpreted as if it were in parentheses. So we start it with the quantity, and the quantity is f plus 5. And if this weren't the end, we would need a comma to end the quantity, but since it's the end of the sentence, we're okay. So in fractions, we read top to bottom and left to right, but if there's a plus sign or a minus sign in the top or the bottom, we have to read that entire thing as one, as if it were in parentheses, using the words the quantity. Why don't you try one? Here's a set of symbols. Try to translate it into words. Pause the video and write it down. And here it is. Since there's a subtraction sign in the top and it's a difference, we've got to start it with the words the quantity. Then we read left to right, n minus 6. And at the end of that quantity, n minus 6, we need to put a comma to end the numerator. Then it's divided by for the fraction bar and a 9. So there you have it. Translating algebraic expressions that are written in math symbols to their equivalent versions in words. Have fun!